underscoring President Zelensky's argument that without more advanced interceptors, Ukraine's cities will remain dangerously exposed.
A White House report accuses the Smithsonian Institution of tainted, politically motivated exhibits designed to divide and dispirit the nation. It points to exhibits on women, immigrants, people of color, and white supremacy. The Smithsonian says it serves nonpartisan and independent scholarship. FIFA's judicial bodies are independent. They operate autonomously, says the head of soccer's governing body in a statement, essentially denying he had any influence over the decision to reverse a red card suspension so the top U.S. scorer can play in tonight's game against Belgium. President Trump phoned the head of soccer's governing body about it.
All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say you have to do this.
And?
They made the right decision because, number one, it wasn't a foul. And you want to see a game with your best players.
You're listening to ABC News.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-436-8220, 800-436-8220, or biglou.com.
An island-wide blackout has hit Cuba as fuel reserves dwindle and its electric grid crumbles. Fuel has been running out across Cuba since January when President Trump threatened tariffs on any country that sells or provides oil to the island. The Hamas militant group today says it has dissolved its government in Gaza and is preparing to transfer power to a technical committee backed by the United Nations as part of a U.S.-brokered ceasefire deal. Hamas did not say whether it planned to disarm or hand over security to an international force. Preliminary hearing underway in the Charlie Kirk murder case. Tyler Robinson charged in the fatal shooting of the conservative activist. At the courthouse in Provo, Utah, ABC's Alex Stone.
There will be testimony. There will be evidence. It could go for a week. It may not go that long. That prosecutors show they have enough evidence to take this to trial. But it is a low bar. They only have to show probable cause, not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So they have to show the judge that they've got enough to show that it could have been Tyler Robinson. And then the judge will decide if they do, in fact, head to trial.
Europe bracing for another 100-degree-plus heat wave this week. The threat of wildfires causing concern, says ABC's Tom Soufi-Burridge in Paris.
Fire crews are battling multiple wildfires right now in southern France, in one of the worst, which officials say is not yet under control. That's to the west of the city of Perpignan. More than 11,000 acres have been burnt and 26 communities have been evacuated in that area.
Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is the News Radio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortloff in the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening this Monday, July 6th. Clallam PUD conducting an emergency planned power outage beginning tonight at 11:59 p.m. It will last until about 4 tomorrow morning and affect some 4,100 customers served by their Agnew substation and most customers served by the Deer Park substation. This includes addresses in and around Kitchen Dick Road, Deer Park Road, Agnew, Solmar, Montera, O'Brien Road, Blue Mountain Road, Lake Farm Road, Old Olympic Highway, and Highway 101 in that east section from Port Angeles to Carlsberg. PUD officials say the outage is necessary to allow crews to safely replace a broken transmission insulator and help maintain reliability of the system. PUD apologizing for the short notice as this was just released in the last hour or so. The 4th of July celebration in downtown Port Angeles being hailed as a resounding success this past weekend. Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, Mark Abshire, dropped by our morning scramble today with a review of what was one of our city's biggest celebrations ever for the 4th. The weather was great. Waterfront District was packed with people all day into the night. And Abshire reports the grand finale, well, it didn't disappoint.
I think it might have been the biggest fireworks show Port Angeles Harbor's ever seen.
Yeah.
I think. It's the biggest one we've done.
Yeah.
I know that.
Part of the credit for the spectacular fireworks show goes to the residents of the visiting private cruise ship, The World. They donated $10,000 to help fund the show. Abshire said it was the first time the globe-wandering vessel had ever spent the 4th of July in the USA, and they chose to do it here in Port Angeles.
They were involved, yeah. So first of all, they have their pastry chef was one of the judges for the apple pie baking contest, which was fantastic. And then one of their crew members was one of the winners of the hot dog eating contest.
I thought that was something else. Yeah, if you couldn't make it to the celebration, you can see hundreds of photos by visiting Jesse Major's photo site. His website is jessemajorphoto.com. A 24-year-old Squim man facing a possible DUI charge after a single vehicle crash sent his SUV about 100 feet down a ravine along Highway 101 between Port Angeles and Squim. The crash happened about 6:50 a.m. on Saturday near milepost 256 at Seabrooks Creek. That, according to the State Patrol. Washington State Patrol troopers say Jordan R. Taylor was driving westbound when his 2014 Jeep Patriot crossed the center line, left the road to the left, struck a guardrail, and rolled down the embankment. Taylor, who was wearing a seatbelt, was injured in the crash, was taken by aid crews before being transferred to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. The Jeep was totaled. More news after this.
Welcome to Volunteer Spotlight, sponsored by Jim Hagwood, Port Angeles Realty. This is Alan Barnard, and this Volunteer Spotlight shines once again on our Clallam County All-Volunteer Disaster Airlift Response Team, known as DART. The DART continues to grow and refine their life-saving capabilities with annual intensive training of over 20 pilots with their own airplanes and 30 ground support folks. Our DART is the first and only fully developed all-volunteer DART in Washington State. As part of DART training, Grocery Outlet and Costco Wholesale have generously stepped up to provide non-perishable food items for our DART pilots to transport to our county airports, where the food is then donated to local food banks. We train to save lives when needed. Our website is clallamdart.com or call 360-461-0175.
Red, white, and blue? What do you have left to do? Swain's 4th of July celebration sale has everything you need to get ready to celebrate the birth of this great country. Need a flag? Fly it high the entire month of July. Swain's has flag kits, including pole and bracket, for 20% off. Get in the spirit with some American flag bamboo tiki torches for only $7.47 each. And it's beautiful weather to lay out on the lawn on your new patriotic blanket, only $19.87. These deals and more at Swain's 4th of July sale.
In other news, let's check in with Sandy Keys and his weekend wrap-up.
4th of July, falling on a weekend, made it more convenient to participate, but the many activities might have kept some folks from the usual weekend mischief. Some numbers were way down. Just one prowler spotted at Old Joe Road, 1:30 Saturday morning, near the West PA city limits. Just one burglary reported at West 1st, downtown Friday night. Still in the ones, a DUI Friday afternoon at the so-called Scenic Overlook at East Front Street. Moving up numerically, there were 2 reported suicide attempts or threats in Port Angeles, one Friday, one Saturday, and into the counts of 4 now, abandoned vehicles, 2 each in Squim and Port Angeles, and 4 assaults, all in Port Angeles, at North Gale Street, North Vine, East 3rd, and West Edis Hook Road. Turning to harassments, 5 of those in Squim at West Cedar, Winterhawk Street, and Spencer Road. In Port Angeles, it was East 5th and South Penn. And an unusually high count of disabled cars, 7. We've never seen that number before. Locations included 2nd and Peabody here, and 1 in Forks, 1 in La Push, but the majority were along Highway 101. 101 in Baker, 101 in Mount Pleasant Road, 101 East, and 215,000 Highway 101. Elsewhere, there were 3 outdoor burning complaints, all in Squim. Busy officers were able to do 12 weekend welfare checks and 28 traffic stops Friday, but only 20 traffic stops Saturday. You'd think they were preoccupied with something else. Well, they were. Fireworks violations. Officers responded to 12 fireworks complaints Friday, but Saturday they had a few more. They responded to 81 fireworks violations that day. And fireworks were supposed to be stopped at midnight Saturday, but the last police response to fireworks that we found was 2:24 Sunday morning. Sandy Keys, KONP Local News.
State health officials warning people to avoid harvesting recreational shellfish in much of Hood Canal now after dangerous levels of paralytic shellfish poisoning toxin have been found. The closure was announced late last week. The State Department of Health has expanded the affected area to include Hood Canal now from Foulweather Bluff south, along with Port Townsend, Oak Bay, and Marrowstone Island included. The closure covers clams, oysters, mussels, and scallops. Crab and shrimp are not affected. Health officials warn the naturally occurring toxin can't be seen, smelled, or tasted, and it isn't destroyed by cooking or freezing. Eating contaminated shellfish can cause numbness or tingling within minutes, and in some cases can be life-threatening. And tennis players in Port Angeles will soon see major upgrades at the Erickson Playfield courts, thanks to a $170,000 community-funded project. The Peninsula Tennis Club raised the money to resurface and repaint all 4 of the courts, while also adding lights to 2 of the west courts to allow for night and winter play. The courts will be closed this week through July 22nd, while crews complete the site prep and resurfacing. Once the new court surfaces are painted, the city will announce an official reopening date. Then a second shorter closure is planned in early August to install the new lighting system. City officials say the improvements will extend the life of the courts for years to come while enhancing one of Port Angeles' most popular recreation spots. Opponents of Washington's new tax on high-income earners have submitted more than 5,100,000 signatures for a ballot initiative to repeal the measure. If enough of the signatures are verified, I-645 will be on the November ballot. The law, approved by lawmakers this year, creates a 9.9% tax on wage income above $1 million starting in 2028. Supporters of this initiative say the tax could eventually expand, though, beyond the state's highest earners. Opponents argue repealing it would eliminate about $3 billion in annual revenue. State officials are expected to complete signature verification within the next couple of weeks. This is News Radio KONP.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan & Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Hey there, Don Riley with Olympic Hot Tub. Make this the summer you start to relax and feel better right in your own home. During our All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event, enjoy liberating savings on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna, with up to 3 years to pay for it interest-free. A soak or swim under the stars, a sauna after a long day. Celebrate feeling better today. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
In 1983, Tom and Ida McEwen opened All Weather Heating and Cooling, their vision for a family-owned and operated business with personalized customer service made them the #1 choice for your heating and cooling needs. In 2014, their daughter Janae and her business partner Dustin Halverson purchased All Weather. In preserving Tom and Ida's vision, customer service is still top priority and your only local authorized carrier dealer. All Weather Heating and Cooling, because everyone calls us.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 72. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows level off around 52. Daytime highs approaching 67 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times and dry Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the mid-60s. Take a look at the extended forecast. 64 Friday, 62 Saturday, and 66 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 59 degrees.
The red is paused for the red, white, and blue. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Team USA returns to action tonight, round 16 matchup with Belgium. Flo Balogun will be playing after all. FIFA yesterday suspending the red card. Means he's eligible to play tonight. The Americans are thrilled. Belgium's not. ESPN analyst Jeff Cameron.
FIFA makes their decision. It is what it is. You know, I just don't like the fact that now everybody hates the U.S. or there's the uproar about that, because that's the U.S. Soccer Federation has nothing to do with it. Although I'm sure they made some appeals and made some, grumblings, but, FIFA's the one that made the decision. They stepped in, so they're the ones that have to answer.
FIFA made the decision. ABC News did confirm President Trump reached out to FIFA. World Cup yesterday, England gets past Mexico 3-2. They advanced to a quarterfinal matchup against Norway, which beat Brazil 2-1. Erling Haaland with both goals in the win. Ronaldo says he's done after this World Cup. Portugal and Spain tonight in round of 16. Oh, by the way, Neymar says he's done with the Brazilian team. His career's over. Baseball, Marlins pitcher Yuri Perez perfect through 7. A's end the perfect game in the 8th with a 5-run inning. Marlins ultimately hang on, though, for a 9-8 win. Padres beat the Dodgers 5-2. Manny Machado, 3-run homer and a 4-run 7th. Rockies rally to beat the Giants 7-6. Mets and Braves combined for 11 runs in the 9th inning. Mets get the win 10-9. Yankees fall to the Twins 6-1. New York's 9th loss in the last 10 games.
Wins are precious in this league and hard to come by, and we gotta find a way to turn it around.
Manager Aaron Boone, New York has gone from a 3-game lead in the division to 4 games back in about a week and a half. Rays get shut out by Houston 2-0. Red Sox 7-5 over the Angels. They've won 8 of 10. Pirates with double-digit runs for the 10th time this season. They beat Washington 11-5. WNBA Fever by 16 over Las Vegas. Indiana now 3-0 without Caitlin Clark this season.
Port Angeles lefties bounce back from a series opening loss to take 2 of 3 from the Kamloops North Paws over the holiday weekend. PA dropped Friday's opener 10-7 despite nearly erasing a 10-0 deficit in that game. The offense came alive Saturday as the lefties pounded out 17 hits, going on to a 12-5 victory. And then they wrapped up the series Sunday with a 9-2 win. Carter Enoch drove in 3 runs in that game.
Munoz looking for a scoreless 9th. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a fly ball into shallow right center field. Robles over. He is there. He makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Mariners shut out the Toronto Blue Jays this afternoon. A final score of 4-0. They win the series 2-1. They put the finishing touches on an outstanding homestand. They go 5-1.
Emerson Hancock pitching 7 strong innings. Mitch Garver hit a 2-run homer. Seattle Mariners beating the Toronto Blue Jays 4-0 Sunday for their 2nd straight shutout win, and they too won a series over the holiday weekend. Mariners are off today. They head to Florida. They'll take on the Marlins tomorrow afternoon.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since '48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, we'll talk with the creators of Broadway at Sunset, which is taking place at Field Arts and Events Hall. Joel Ricci will discuss the upcoming live rendering and album release party for the librarians at Field Hall. And Wendy Bonham, the coach and volunteer at the Clallam County Special Olympics, will be talking about the Bob Cup.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A rebound for AI stocks on this Monday is sending indices higher on Wall Street. The S&P rose 0.8% and is within 1% of its record, even though the majority of stocks within the index fell. The strength for AI sending the Nasdaq up 1.1% and the Dow is up 0.2%. Broadcom was one of the strongest forces lifting the market after falling more than 2% on both Wednesday and Thursday before the holiday weekend. The Aspen Group has decided to drop plans for the sale of its urgent care clinic chain WellNow after seeking buyers. Lenders to Aspen have retained Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher as the company seeks to tackle roughly $3 billion of loans due next year. Micron Technology and Ford Motor have just signed a long-term agreement to secure the supply for memory and storage platforms used in the automaker's next-generation vehicle production. This comes days after Micron's similar agreement with GM as part of the chipmaker's ongoing investments to expand manufacturing in the U.S. Matt Piper, Bloomberg Radio.
Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales is rolling out huge savings now through July 11th. Get 10% off everything outside, including fencing, shelter systems, soil, bedding, and more. Then head inside for 15% off almost everything, like handheld power tools, pet products, jewelry, and purses. You'll also save $250 on every in-stock mower and tractor. Purchase a trailer and get free licensing, a $200 value. Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Family-owned, community-focused, and saving you more this summer.
Hi, I'm Mitzi Hazard, Director of Rehabilitation Services at Olympic Medical Center. If aching feet are affecting your daily life or your balance, join me for a free presentation on Thursday, July 16th at 10:30 a.m. at our Medical Services Building on 5th Avenue in Sunny Squim. We'll cover common causes of foot pain, why your footwear matters for stability, and how to properly test drive shoes before you buy them. Save the date and learn more at olympicmedical.org/events.
ABC Entertainment News.
Minions and Monsters mustered up $60 million at the box office, way below the $80 million that had been projected for the family film over the extended holiday weekend. It marks the lowest opening for the spin-off Minions series and for the larger Despicable Me universe.
What are you, some sort of old man toy?
What?
Toy Story 5, meanwhile, notched the number 2 slot with $31 million in its third week of release.
You cannot give up on me.
And Supergirl slid to third place, raking in $9.6 million. That's a 74% drop-off from its debut last weekend. Speaking of the box office, the low-budget horror hit Obsession has now surpassed $400 million in ticket sales. It was made for less than $1 million.
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
And happy birthday to Rocky Balboa himself. Sylvester Stallone is turning 80 today. Mike Dubosky, ABC News.
In today's Medical Minute, diabetes and dementia.
If you have diabetes, it may affect more than your blood sugar. It could also impact your memory. Your brain needs a steady supply of energy to work well, and that energy comes from sugar in your blood. But when blood sugar is too high, it can cause problems over time. Investigators at the National Institutes of Health All of Us research program found that people with diabetes were more likely to develop dementia. Those with type 2 diabetes had approximately double the risk compared to someone without diabetes, and those with type 1 triple the risk. But experts stress it's something within your control. Healthy blood sugar means your levels stay within your target range throughout the day. Not too high after meals, not too low between them. You can get there with some simple changes like eating fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, and cutting back on sugary drinks and snacks. With this Medical Minute, I'm Alex Stone.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
When we talk about how much exercise someone should get, current guidelines call for about 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise every week. New study out of the UK makes a strong case for vigorous exercise if and when you can do it. Now, researchers determined that even little bursts of vigorous exercise can significantly reduce someone's risk of 8 different diseases: dementia, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, chronic respiratory disease, chronic kidney disease, immune-mediated inflammatory diseases, major cardiovascular events, and atrial fibrillation. We're not talking about complicated training programs here. Just work with what you can into your everyday life. If you are breathless and unable to speak in complete sentences, then you've hit the mark. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And right now, save $500 on Tempur-Breeze mattresses, plus get a $300 instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. There's a lot of talk today about love of country, and some who live in our America say they don't love it. I'll tell you what one of our great patriots said about loving America after this important message.
Hello, Jerry Stewart here with a word from Liberty Village. Everyone here at our studios are excited. Only 10 days now until our America's 250th anniversary party. For who? For all of us, we the people. Have you heard about Angel Studios Young Washington coming to local theaters starting July the 3rd? Liberty Village will benefit by tickets sold. Get your tickets now. Kelly and I have ours. Go now to libertyvillage.org/events and see what's coming, like the Founders in the Park July the 2nd, with fun for the whole family. And there'll also be colonial crafts, live historical interpreters like George Washington, and good old-fashioned fun for the whole family. Wow. So many things to do, but most of all, it's about our America, a 250-year birthday, and we are excited and ready to start. For more info, go to libertyvillage.org/events and start your preparation now. God bless America. Happy birthday, America. See you there.
I'm proud to say it, that I love America. Listen to what patriot Daniel Webster said about his love of America. He said, "Let our object be our country, our whole country, and nothing but our country. And by the blessings of God, may our country become a vast and splendid monument, not of oppression and terror, but of wisdom, of peace, and of liberty, upon which the world may gaze with admiration forever." Do you love America? Then pray that America will find its way back to the godly principles that started it all. Think about it. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
Looking for the next place to call home? Come tour Lavender Meadows in Sequim.
I had been looking at this great community here, and Lavender Meadows stands way above the others.
Dennis and his wife found more than just a home.
One of my favorite things we have here is we have a community garden. We can grow tomatoes and just all kinds of greens. Our radishes were fabulous.
Come meet your new neighbors at Lavender Meadows. Our modern, low-maintenance homes give you more time to enjoy your life. Go to lavendermeadowsmhc.com.
Hey everybody, Todd here at Price Ford. And backed by popular demand, Ford has come out with the employee pricing for everyone. And I'm not talking about what I would pay as an employee. I'm talking about what the corporate employees pay. You can't buy a new Ford for less money. This offer covers almost every vehicle in the Ford lineup. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, hurry down to Price Ford right on Highway 101, right next to Walmart in Port Angeles, and we'll have a vehicle waiting for you.
Looking for a great Saturday night? Join Black Diamond Junction in their classic hits live at the Elwha River Casino this Saturday, 8 to 11. Dance the night away to your favorite classic hits from the 70s and 80s, performed by one of the Olympic Peninsula's favorite live bands. Bring your friends, hit the dance floor, make it a night to remember. And it's all free, no cover charge. That's Black Diamond Junction live at the Elwha River Casino this Saturday night, 8 to 11 p.m. See you there.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Can it, Curly? We love the sun, but not this early. If you want to keep the rays out in the morning, the Blind Store by McCrory has a deal for you. During their summer sale, you'll save 25% off the best blinds in the industry, like Hunter Douglas, Graber, and Norman. You'll be singing a happy tune, but only when you're ready. Shop the Blind Store by McCrory's summer sale, going on now in Sequim by the Licensing Depot.
News this hour at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump rings the opening bell on Wall Street.
President Donald Trump has run the opening bells for the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ from the Oval Office. Trump said Monday, after formally launching the start of trading, that he thinks the market's going to go through the roof.
And I really believe we're going to have the biggest boom of all right now. You haven't seen anything yet.
Monday's event was aimed at promoting the launch of Trump accounts, which gives kids access to investing.
Children that are born without money, without any money. Great parents, they can have everything, can be great, but they have no money. they can become very wealthy children at 18.
At the White House, this is Josh Boak.
Russia has launched a massive missile and drone attack on Ukraine, killing at least 22 people. Meanwhile, President Trump still sounding optimistic that there will be an end to the war soon.
I think we're getting much closer than people realize, and President Putin wants it to end. I will tell you that very strongly. A good call. And President Zelensky actually wants it to end now. And we're going to be going to NATO, and we're going to be talking about it. And I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it ended. It's been a terrible situation.
The assault highlights gaps in Ukraine's air defenses, especially the need for more U.S.-made Patriot interceptor missiles. 15 people were killed in Kiev alone. A new ICE facility in the Bayou State. Here's correspondent Laura Winters with more details.
The new ICE facility being built next to a Louisiana airfield in Alexandria, and it could speed up deportations for families. The Trump administration plans to open the center with just over 500 beds for illegal aliens and unaccompanied children awaiting removal from here in the U.S. ICE is being clear on calling this a staging area and not a detention center. Laura Winters reporting.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up by 106 points this hour. More at townhall.com.
Are you tired of feeling lousy? Maybe you had a scare at your last checkup, or just walking hurts? When enough is enough, call PhD Weight Loss. When I had enough 4 years and 53 pounds ago, I knew I couldn't do it alone. I'm Mike Gallagher for PhD Weight Loss. Best phone call I ever made. They were right with me. They still are today. Right now, mention Mike. You'll get 2 free weeks added to the program, and they'll pay for the cost of your food. $1,500 value. Call 864-644-1900, 864-644-1900, or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
Small business owners in the U.S. tourist destination say they're seeing more Americans sticking closer to home this summer.
Businesses around Lake Tahoe, which straddles California and Nevada, and in Asheville, North Carolina, and World Cup host Kansas City in Missouri, say they have noticed customers trading in overseas vacations for road trips and day excursions. Though anecdotal, the reported boost to domestic tourism comes as higher airfares, coupled with gasoline prices, have made vacations more expensive. Rich Thomason reporting.
The U.S. is aiming for back-to-back World Cup knockout wins for the first time. Coach Pochettino expects a full lineup today against Belgium. The U.S. last faced Belgium at the World Cup in 2014, losing 2-1 in extra time in that match. Quarterfinal spot against Spain or Portugal is at stake in tonight's matchup. You'll find breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. A rebound for AI stocks is helping support Wall Street and keeping indexes mixed right now, with all the major indexes at the moment in higher territory. Here's correspondent Seth Sutel with an overview.
I'm Seth Sutel, and this is Market. Major indexes are mixed in the early going on Wall Street as a rebound for AI stocks offsets losses elsewhere in the market. The S&P 500 rose 0.6% in the first hour of trading Monday. The strength for companies in the artificial intelligence technology space sent the NASDAQ Composite up 1.1%. The Dow fell 106 points, that's about 0.2%. Several big chip companies were posting gains. Broadcom jumped 5.3%. Micron Technology added 3.6%. Oil prices held relatively steady. Treasury yields edged down in the bond market. Seth Sutel, New York.
You'll find more of these stories at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Bob Agnew.
This is the News Radio KONP Noon Report.
It's Outdoor Clock for the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening this Monday, July 6th. Konp PUD conducting an emergency planned power outage beginning tonight at 11:59 p.m. It will last until about 4 tomorrow morning and affect some 4,100 customers served by their Agnew substation and most customers served by the Deer Park substation. This includes addresses in and around Kitchen Dick Road, Deer Park Road, Agnew, Solmar, Montera, O'Brien Road, Blue Mountain Road, Lake Farm Road, Old Olympic Highway, and Highway 101 in that east section from Port Angeles to Carlsberg. PUD officials say the outage is necessary to allow crews to safely replace a broken transmission insulator and help maintain reliability of the system. PUD apologizing for the short notice, as this was just released in the last hour or so. The 4th of July celebration in downtown Port Angeles being hailed as a resounding success this past weekend. Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, Mark Abshire, dropped by our morning scramble today with a review of what was one of our city's biggest celebrations ever for the 4th. The weather was great. The Waterfront District was packed with people all day into the night. And Abshire reports the grand finale, well, it didn't disappoint.
I think it might have been the biggest fireworks show Port Angeles Harbor's ever seen. Yeah. I think. It's the biggest one we've done. Yeah. I know that.
Part of the credit for the spectacular fireworks show goes to the residents of the visiting private cruise ship, The World. They donated $10,000 to help fund the show. Abshire said it was the first time the globe wandering vessel had ever spent the 4th of July in the USA, and they chose to do it here in Port Angeles.
They were involved, yeah. So first of all, they have their pastry chef was one of the judges for the apple pie baking contest, which was fantastic. And then one of their crew members was one of the winners of the hot dog eating contest.
I thought that was something else. Yeah, if you couldn't make it to the celebration, you can see hundreds of photos by visiting Jesse Major's photo site. His website is jessemajorphoto.com. A 24-year-old Squim man facing a possible DUI charge after a single vehicle crash sent his SUV about 100 feet down a ravine along Highway 101 between Port Angeles and Squim. The crash happened about 6:50 a.m. on Saturday near milepost 256 at Seabrooks Creek. That, according to the State Patrol. Washington State Patrol troopers say Jordan R. Taylor was driving westbound when his 2014 Jeep Patriot crossed the center line, left the road to the left, struck a guardrail, and rolled down the embankment. Taylor, who was wearing a seatbelt, was injured in the crash, was taken by aid crews before being transferred to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. The Jeep was totaled. More news after this.
In 1925, a news headline read, "Nothing in the Northwest to equal the natural golf experience." By 1926, veteran golf course designer Francis James turned Dalton Farm in Port Angeles into Peninsula Golf Club. Peninsula Golf Club took advantage of the natural fairways there, perfect putting greens, and natural draining system in a picture-perfect location. And today, 100 years later, local golfers and even PGA legend Byron Nelson believe that Peninsula Golf Club lived up to and went beyond those early declarations. Peninsula Golf Club is a true golf gem found right here in a most beautiful setting. And you're invited to their 100th anniversary celebration Friday, July 24th, so stay tuned for details. But why wait? Come visit Peninsula for a round of golf this week. The fairways are wide open.
Olympic Hot Tub's All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event is here. Now's the time to save thousands on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna. With up to 3 years to pay for it, interest-free. OlympichotTub.com. Better you, better life.
In other news, let's check in with Sandy Keys and his weekend wrap-up.
4th of July, falling on a weekend, made it more convenient to participate, but the many activities might have kept some folks from the usual weekend mischief. Some numbers were way down. Just one prowler spotted at Old Joe Road, 1:30 Saturday morning, near the West PA city limits. Just one burglary reported at West First, downtown Friday night. Still in the ones, a DUI Friday afternoon at the so-called Scenic Overlook at East Front Street. Moving up numerically, there were 2 reported suicide attempts or threats in Port Angeles, one Friday, one Saturday. And into the counts of 4 now, abandoned vehicles, 2 each in Squim and Port Angeles, and 4 assaults, all in Port Angeles, at North Gale Street, North Vine, East 3rd, and West Edis Hook Road. Turning to harassments, 5 of those in Squim at West Cedar, Winterhawk Street, and Spencer Road. In Port Angeles, it was East 5th and South Penn. And an unusually high count of disabled cars, 7 We've never seen that number before. Locations included 2nd and Peabody here, and one in Forks, one in La Push, but the majority were along Highway 101. 101 in Baker, 101 in Mount Pleasant Road, 101 East, and 215,000 Highway 101. Elsewhere, there were 3 outdoor burning complaints, all in Sequim. Busy officers were able to do 12 weekend welfare, 20 traffic stops Saturday. You'd think they were preoccupied with something else. Well, they were. Fireworks violations. Officers responded to 12 fireworks complaints Friday, but Saturday they had a few more. They responded to 81 fireworks violations that day. And fireworks were supposed to be stopped at midnight Saturday, but the last police response to fireworks that we found was 2:24 Sunday morning. Sandy Keys, KONP Local News.
State health officials warning people to avoid harvesting recreational shellfish in much of Hood Canal now after dangerous levels of paralytic shellfish poisoning toxin have been found. The closure was announced late last week. The State Department of Health has expanded the affected area to include Hood Canal now from Foulweather Bluff south, along with Port Townsend, Oak Bay, and Marrowstone Island included. The closure covers clams, oysters, mussels, and scallops. Crab and shrimp are not affected. Health officials warn the naturally occurring toxin can't be seen, smelled, or tasted, and it isn't destroyed by cooking or freezing. Eating contaminated shellfish can cause numbness or tingling within minutes, and in some cases can be life-threatening. And tennis players in Port Angeles will soon see major upgrades at the Erickson Playfield courts, thanks to a $170,000 community-funded project. The Peninsula Tennis Club raised the money to resurface and repaint all 4 of the courts, while also adding lights to 2 of the west courts to allow for night and winter play. The courts will be closed this week through July 22nd, while crews complete the site prep and resurfacing. Once the new court surfaces are painted, the city will announce an official reopening date. Then a second shorter closure is planned in early August to install the new lighting system. City officials say the improvements will extend the life of the courts for years to come while enhancing one of Port Angeles' most popular recreation spots. Opponents of Washington's new tax on high-income earners have submitted more than 5,100,000 signatures for a ballot initiative to repeal the measure. If enough of the signatures are verified, I-645 will be on the November ballot. The law approved by lawmakers this year creates a 9.9% tax on wage income above $1 million starting in 2028. Supporters of this initiative say the tax could eventually expand, though, beyond the state's highest earners. Opponents argue repealing it would eliminate about $3 billion in annual revenue. State officials are expected to complete signature verification within the next couple of weeks. This is News Radio KONP.
These days, we are constantly told to be afraid of each other,
of our neighbors, our co-workers, and even our family members.
That's exactly what the rich and powerful want.
I don't want to live in a world which rich and powerful tell us what to do. So let's do things different.
Say hi to your bus driver.
Shake hands with a neighbor.
Thanks to a cannery worker.
Say hey to a stranger.
Blue Collar, we have each other's backs. BlueCollarUnity.org.
Paid for by Firelands Workers Building Community Power.
Here to provide a little insight on the local real estate market is May Graves.
Attention Sequim and Port Angeles sellers, who is vetting the buyers who are walking through your home? That's a great question. If your agent is using showing time to book your appointments, the odds are nobody is vetting that buyer. I choose not to use showing time because I want to talk personally to that buyer's agent and ask them, is this buyer qualified to buy this home? Are they working with a lender or possibly paying cash? And are they ready to pull the trigger if they find the right home? If the answer is no, let's wait to show your home. If you want more information about buying or selling in the Port Angeles and Sequim area, call me, May Graves, Real Estate Market Pros.
Thank you, May. If you want to connect with the real estate pros, reach out to May, M-A-E, at realestatemarketpros.com. Listen right here for more amazing real estate advice.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 72. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows level off around 52. Daytime highs approaching 67 tomorrow. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times and dry Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the mid-60s. Take a look at the extended forecast. 64 Friday, 62 Saturday, and 66 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 59 degrees.
Robert Workman's take on sports is next.
It was a wild day in the round of 16 at the World Cup. First, a huge upset as Norway ousted world number 6 Brazil 2-1 in New Jersey on the strength of two Erling Haaland second-half goals. He's now tied for the Golden Boot scoring lead with Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. Then 10-man England held off Mexico 3-2 in Mexico City. Jude Bellingham scored twice in the first half. Then right back Gerald Kwanzaa took a red card early in the second half. That forced the Three Lions to play a man down for over 45 minutes. But Harry Kane's penalty 5 minutes after the red card gave them the cushion they needed. That was El Tri's first loss in Azteca Stadium in 14 years. Today it'll be Portugal versus Spain in Dallas. Then the U.S. and Belgium meet in Seattle for a spot in the quarterfinals. The U.S. got a boost on Sunday, getting Fuller and Balogun back in the lineup after having his red card from the win over Bosnia-Herzegovina suspended by FIFA. At Wimbledon, women's number 1 Arina Sabalenka was upset in the fourth round by Naomi Osaka, the former world number 1, now the 14 seed, making her first quarterfinals appearance at the All England Club ever, though she has won the U.S. and Australian Open titles twice each. Americans 4-seed Jessica Pegula and 7-seed Coco Gauff also won Sunday. They will square off in another quarterfinal match on Tuesday. Men's number 1 Yannick Sinner was a winner. He's still on track to defend his crown as he advanced to the quarterfinals, along with 3-seed Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime and number 7 Novak Djokovic, who owns 24 Grand Slam titles. Baseball Sunday, Marlins starter Yuri Perez was perfect through 7 innings, retired 21 consecutive A's batters. But having thrown 92 pitches, he was removed by manager Clayton McCullough with an 8-0 lead. And then the roof nearly fell in. Jonah Heim led a massive comeback with a grand slam and a 2-run single, the A's falling just short in a 9-8 Miami win. Another crazy game late. The Mets scored 5 times in the top of the ninth, then had to hold on for a 10-9 win over the Braves, who scored 6 in the home half and had the tying and winning runs on base. The Mariners blanked the Blue Jays 4-0. Emerson Hancock and Fidelity Guarantee tossed a combined 3-hitter. Mitch Garver went deep. Astros shut out the Rays 2-0. A 4-hit gem for Peter Lambert and friends, backed up by long balls from Christian Walker and Isaac Paredes. Padres snapped their 8-game skid with a 5-2 win over the Dodgers. Manny Machado with a 3-run wallop. Red Sox completed a weekend sweep of the Angels 7-5. Jake Bowers broke up a shutout bid by Eduardo Rodriguez with a 2-run homer in the 7th. And the Brewers went on to beat the Diamondbacks 3-2. White Sox nipped the Guardians 7-6 for a 4-game split that keeps Chicago alone atop the AL Central. Twins trounced the Yankees 6-1. New York has now lost 9 out of 10. Outfielder Cody Bellinger.
It's really bad. At the end of the day, you know, we gotta get on base, steal bases, score some runs, manufacture runs, and give the fans something to cheer about.
Riley Green had a 2-run homer and a 2-run triple to lead the Tigers past the Rangers. Kyle Caro smacked a 3-run jack in the 8th as the Rockies edged the Giants. Wins for the Pirates, Cubs, Royals, and Reds. That's Monday Sports.
Sometimes the more things change, the more things stay the same. Cars and trucks certainly have changed, but it's really good to know that A1 Auto Parts in Sequim has the same great service and expert advice as always. Whether it's advanced technology of the newest model or a classic with hard-to-find parts, the A1 team is your go-to for expert advice and tracking the right equipment. A1 Auto Parts and Marine across from Sunshine Cafe in downtown Sequim.
Celebrate Independence Day with huge savings at Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Through July 11th, save 10% on everything outside the store, including feed, fencing, shelter systems, wire panels, pellets, and more. Inside, save 15% on everything, like handheld power tools, pet supplies, jewelry, purses, and more. Plus, take $250 off all in-stock mowers and tractors, and get free trailer licensing, a $200 value. Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Family-owned and serving generations of hard-working families.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Christian Dior's stock is down, but the fashion giant may not care as it beat out rival Chanel to dress Taylor Swift for her holiday weekend wedding. Travis Kelce also wore Dior, handing the label an edge in its intensifying rivalry with Chanel for fashion's most coveted celebrity endorsements. No photos have yet emerged from the tightly controlled Madison Square Garden celebration. AI takes Hollywood. AI-generated actor Tilly Norwood is set to make her big screen debut starring in the film Misaligned. UK-based Particle 6 says today that it's begun developing the film. Norwood was unveiled to the public just last year, with real actors, of course, not so crazy about it. Just before the close on Wall Street, things are still looking good. The Dow is up about 0.2%, while the S&P inches close to 1% higher. The tech-heavy NASDAQ is surging, looking like it will close up 1.3% higher to end the day. Matt Piper, Bloomberg Radio.
The Beauty Rest 4th of July sale savings are huge at Angelus Furniture. From now through July 7th, take advantage of up to $500 off Beauty Rest world-class hybrid and adjustable base sets. And you can save a whopping $1,000 on the Beauty Rest black mattress and adjustable base sets during the sale. And you'll see 0% financing OAC for 12 months. Get the refreshing sleep you deserve tonight on your brand new Beauty Rest, only at Angelus Furniture.
If you hear this when you look outside, but hear this when you look around your house, it's time for new window treatments. Lucky for you, the Blind Store by McCrory has you and your windows covered. The Blind Store turns dingy into dynamite, stale into stunning, all at an affordable price and with expert installation. So if your shutters make you shudder, shop the Blind Store by McCrory in Squim, 360-504-3883.
12:52, a frightening explosion in the sky rattles a passenger jet over this weekend. ABC's Allison Kosick with some details.
In Chicago,
Tower, we just had a firework hit our plane, Delta 1076. We're continuing.
The pilot of a Delta Airlines flight reported a firework hit the plane as it was preparing to land.
We're just hoping it was just the mortar that went off underneath, but definitely felt a big bang.
The flight from Atlanta landed safely.
Trump administration launching new public criticism of the Smithsonian and its leadership amidst accusations that the White House is seeking to whitewash the country's history. ABC Sophie Flay with the details.
The report, released by the White House Domestic Policy Council, claims the Smithsonian cannot be trusted to tell America's story honestly. The report singles out the National Museum of American History, saying it would benefit most Americans if the Smithsonian's flagship history museum had a label at every entrance that reads, "Warning, the exhibits in this museum were prepared by people who don't want you to love your country."
Well, the latest installment in the Despicable Me universe is top of the box office, but falling short of expectations. ABC's Mike Dubusky with more.
Minions and Monsters mustered up $60 million at the box office, way below the $80 million that had been projected for that family film over the extended holiday weekend. It marks the lowest opening for the series.
What are you, some sort of old man toy?
What? Toy Story 5, meanwhile, notched the number 2 slot with $31 million. It's that movie's third week of release. And Supergirl slid to third place in week 2, raking in $9.6 million in ticket sales. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
All right, a Golden Sea Bright chicken from Maine turns 16 this month. Back in April, Gertie was recognized by Guinness World Records as the oldest living chicken. Frank Turek, her owner, brought Gertie the chicken home as a chick in 2010. Despite her small size, Gertie emerged as the leader of the flock, which has seen multiple additions and losses over the years. A few years ago, she started losing her sight, prompting Turek to relocate Gertie to an indoor coop in 2024 for her safety. Turek says Gertie enjoys the company of humans and responds to her name with vocalizations. All right. And the late George Ballas Sr. was a Houston entrepreneur best known for inventing the weed eater. Ballas got the idea for the weed eater while sitting in a car wash. He wondered whether the idea of spinning bristles like the ones that were cleaning his car could be applied to trimming grass and weeds in areas a lawnmower couldn't get to. He experimented with fishing wire that poked through holes in a tin can and attached to a rotary of a lawn edger. And he found that the spinning wires easily sliced through the grass. Ballas founded his Weed Eater company in Houston in 1971.
I went to Jungle Jane's for some beautiful dish towels. I came home with a lamp and a pillow and a rain chain and maybe a few other things. Because inside that little blue building is a home decor wonderland. Jungle Jane's in Squim has stunning lamps, local artisan pieces, kitchen goodies, and decor that makes your home feel like you. Warning, side effects include redecorating your entire house in zen-like bliss. Find us on the web at junglejanes.online.
The tech media is going bonkers. China now owns the world's fastest supercomputer, built entirely with Chinese chips. And the headlines say, America just lost the tech race, and not so fast. I'm Kim Comando for NetSuite. AI isn't just the future, it's here. And for the first time ever, you can try NetSuite Next for free. If your revenues are over 7 figures, visit netsuite.com/Kim. Now the truth behind the headline. Yes, China's new machine is 20% faster than our very best, but it won by brute force. They stacked millions of weaker chips together and burned 40% more electricity to do it. That's not innovation, that's a bigger pile. And on the benchmarks that measure AI performance, the stuff that actually matters, that same computer ranks 4th behind 3 American machines. Meanwhile, we're building smaller, faster chips that sip power instead of chugging it. That's the way forward. So take a breath. America still sets the pace. Stay tech ahead with my free newsletter at getkim.com. Every business owner I speak to is asking the same question. How do I make AI work for my business? My answer, don't wait. Your competitors are already using AI to work smarter, move faster, and make better decisions. In fact, there's a saying that every day your business is late to AI, you fall 2 days behind. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 AI-powered cloud ERP, trusted by more than 43,000 businesses. It brings your financials, inventory, commerce, HR, and CRM together in one system. And when everything is connected in one place, AI has the information it needs to help you make smarter decisions. Instead of relying on guesswork, you're working from real-time data across your business. How do I know? We're implementing NetSuite in my own business right now, and I can already see the impact it's having on how we operate. For the first time ever, you can try NetSuite Next for free. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, go to netsuite.com/Kim. Built for every industry, ready for every boardroom. netsuite.com/Kim.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, we're always talking about the dangers of too much sitting, right? But how do you know if you've crossed the line into an excessively sedentary lifestyle? I'll share the red flags next in today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees, when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
We all know too much sitting is harmful to our health, so how do we know if we're too sedentary? Here are some signs that we're not moving enough. First, you're often out of breath, even from just carrying a load of towels to the washing machine. When we sit, we take shallower breaths, which provide less oxygen to our heart and muscles. Another sign that you're too sedentary is you're always fatigued. Within just 2 days of inactivity, the body begins to decondition itself, shutting down and preparing to be less active. And one more sign that you're not moving enough, memory glitches. According to a +1 study, hours spent sitting lead to a thinning of the brain lobe responsible for memory. Yikes. At a minimum, you should stand and move around for at least 5 minutes every hour to help offset the damage caused by too much sitting. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Looking for a great Saturday night? Join Black Diamond Junction and their classic hits live at the Elwha River Casino this Saturday, 8 to 11. Dance the night away to your favorite classic hits from the 70s and 80s, performed by one of the Olympic Peninsula's favorite live bands. Bring your friends, hit the dance floor, make it a night to remember. And it's all free, no cover charge. That's Black Diamond Junction, live at the Elwha River Casino this Saturday night, 8 to 11 p.m. See you there.
The North Olympic Peninsula's news station. News Radio KONP Port Angeles Squim. AM 1450, FM 101.7 and 101.3. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson.
An oil glut could lower gasoline prices. The U.S. has been removing mines from the southern route of the Strait of Hormuz, with more tankers passing through, says ABC News contributor and former State Department official Steve Ganyard.
Frankly, President Trump can let this go on forever because people don't want to think about the nuclear problem. They're going to say, I don't want my total at the gas pump to be so high. And right now, it's going to come down. And it may come down, and we could get down into the 60s on a barrel of oil because of this glut. So the Iranian ability to influence this negotiation is going to decrease. We'll see if that makes a difference at the negotiation table.
Ganyard says Ukraine attacking Russian oil refineries, creating long lines for gasoline in Russia is a dangerous situation.
Putin may wag the dog and attack NATO somewhere around Poland, Latvia, or Lithuania in a way that sort of distracts the Russian people away from how poorly the Russians are doing in Ukraine.
President Trump heads to a NATO summit in Turkey later today, where Ukraine President Zelensky is expected to ask alliance members for more interceptor missiles. FIFA's judicial bodies are independent. They operate autonomously, says the head of soccer's governing body in a statement, essentially denying he had any influence over the decision to reverse a red card suspension so the top U.S. scorer can play in tonight's game against Belgium. President Trump phoned the head of soccer's governing body about it.
All I did was ask for a review. I didn't say you have to do this.
Heavy rain yesterday, more rain today, leading to flood watches from Virginia and North Carolina to Pittsburgh, Hartford, New York City, says ABC News chief meteorologist Ginger Z.
We're going to see this low kind of slowly move through southern New Jersey, and on the top of it, lots and lots of rain. From Long Island, we've got a significant risk for flash flooding through southern Rhode Island and coastal Connecticut. 2 to 3 inches per hour possible, with 2 to 6 inches in total.
At the close, the Wall Street major indexes are higher. You're listening to ABC News.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-436-8220, 800-436-8220, or biglou.com.
A White House report accuses the Smithsonian Institution of tainted, politically motivated exhibits designed to divide and dispirit the nation. It points to exhibits on women, immigrants, people of color, and white supremacy. The Smithsonian says it serves nonpartisan and independent scholarship. Cubans going to need candles and battery power tonight. There's an island-wide blackout. Fuel reserves dwindling and the electric grid is crumbling. This since January, when President Trump threatened tariffs on any country selling or providing oil to Cuba. Preliminary hearing underway in the Charlie Kirk murder case. Tyler Robinson charged in the fatal shooting of the conservative activist. The courthouse in Provo, Utah. ABC's Alex Stone.
What's expected to be like a mini trial that could last all week. Prosecutors will be laying out parts of their case with evidence and testimony to prove to a judge they have probable cause to move forward to trial. 10 months after allegedly shooting and killing Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson still has not entered a plea.
A third heat wave is hitting Europe with wildfires spreading. Southern France, very hard hit. For the first time, President Trump rang the opening bell for the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ from the Oval Office in the White House. It celebrated the launch of Trump Accounts, a new tax advantage savings account for children in the U.S. Only babies born between 2025 and 28 are eligible for a $1,000 government contribution. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
It's time for Your Port of PA Today. A look inside the port and share what's in it for you.
I'm Port Commissioner Connie Beauvais. The Port of Port Angeles is excited to bring you a look inside your port and share projects designed to attract even more business and jobs to our area. Did you know the Port of PA stretches well beyond the Port Angeles Harbor? The port manages 1,000 acres of property, including John Wayne Marina and Olympic Peninsula Gemstone. The tidelands to build the marina were donated by the John Wayne family. John Wayne visited the bay aboard his yacht, the Wild Goose. John Wayne Marina, located on beautiful Sequim Bay, is a gateway to and from Seattle, San Juan Islands, and Canada. Its location, plus its top-notch amenities, makes it a destination for locals and travelers alike. Email hello@portofpa.com or keep up to date on Facebook.
Hi everyone, it's Alicia Campion with Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative. We're a worker-owned cooperative. Our caregivers are owners, focused on dignity, trust, and supporting loved ones at home. Accepting care is about independence, not weakness. We care and support the life someone has already built. Join our team or trust us with your loved one's care. We're Ridgeline Home Care Cooperative, with you at home. Call 360-504-3837.
Summer deals are on fire at the Swain's 4th of July sale. Clothing in particular is shifting to lighter and a lot less this time of year, so give your wardrobe a reset with some new Comfort Colors men's tank tops for just $4.87 each. Women's and kids swimwear is all 20% off, and the shoe department has got it all, with men's and women's Columbia footwear all 25% off. Men's and women's reef sandals and flip-flops are 20% off, and men's, women's, and kids aqua socks are only $10.87 each. Sale savings happening now at Swain's.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. 72 this afternoon under mainly sunny skies, northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 52 tonight. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow, high of 68. A blend of clouds and sun and dry Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the mid-60s. Looking at the long range, 64 Friday, 62 Saturday, and 66 on Sunday. Another look at the short range. Highs reach 72 today, low of 52 tonight. We should top out at 68 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 66.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
And welcome once again to the show. Got a lot of entertainment to talk about today. We're going to spend the first segment chatting with some good friends of mine. I haven't had all of you in the studio at the same time, so this is kind of fun. But we welcome Kyle Lemaire. Good to see you again, Kyle.
As always, very good to see you.
Last time you were doing an evil villain character.
Yes, I think last time was Sweeney Todd.
Yes, it was Sweeney Todd. All right. And Morgan Bartholik's here as well. Morgan, good to see you again.
Hi, Todd. So good to see you, too.
And we've got in the studio Linda Dowdell joining them as well. Linda, great to see you too as well.
And you, Todd.
And via the phone, Denise Winter joins us from the Key City Theater because she's also involved in this little thing we're going to talk about called Broadway at Sunset. And I'm going to go to the two that wrote this thing together, Morgan and Kyle, and let you just explain what you have brewed up for us that's going to be coming a little later this month at Field Hall.
Sure. You know, we started this discussing the impact of last year's Broadway Shakespeare at Sunset, which we absolutely had the most amazing time doing. And then Morgan and I got to do Broadway at Sunset, a small concert in the year. And that really started the idea of what something, this sort of dinner theater situation could look like during the summer. And this year we sat down and thought about, you know, how could we do a type of review to bring, you know, beloved Broadway songs here to the peninsula. And this idea of the world that we're in, of sort of what we believe in and what sometimes that costs us to keep that belief.
Okay.
So that's the theme.
Now, if I understand this right, it's kind of a bit of a show in a show. Is that safe to say a little bit, right? As to where these performers are popping up from, right?
Yes. So we've kind of, I think you're thinking of an earlier iteration that we had done of the show. So now we're into where we're all talking about, like we said, what we believe and what it costs to get there. And it is speaking from more kind of ourselves as more of a narrative for the audience and presenting these songs in this thoughtful manner.
All right. Now, I know you two are both Broadway like aficionados, so this does not surprise me at all that you would want to take the torch on this.
Maybe.
Run with it just a little bit. So what, tell us kind of how you've put all of this together, because this is a review, so you've got a lot of beloved songs from a lot of Broadway shows in this, right?
Yes. So one of the things when we talked about the songs that we wanted to choose was we wanted there to be an accessibility factor for the show in terms of people's knowledge of Broadway, but also at the same time, we may be doing songs that they may not be as familiar with. They may be more familiar with the name of a show, and then this song might be something newer for them to hear, or because we have such a breadth of and depth of musical theater knowledge, we might be bringing something that it could be brand new to somebody as well.
Well, and that's something that I had to learn throughout this. Just because something was well known to me doesn't necessarily mean it's well known to anyone else. So, there was a few hurdles and a few roadblocks in picking songs. But I think, there's something for everyone. There's Guys and Dolls, there's Kiss Me Kate, there's Chicago, Company, Ragtime. So there's a bunch of stuff in there.
Wide ranging.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
a little something for everybody if you like Broadway stuff. Okay, well, Linda's here. She's the musical director of this as well. So I guess in some ways you're going to help herd their cats through this.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about what your role has been in putting all of this together.
Right. Well, I've been the pianist also for both of the productions that they mentioned. And so it was their job to create what is really the same as you've heard the expression jukebox musical, which is taking the songs that you want to use and figuring out how can I burst into that song in this show that is not that show that it was written for.
Suddenly a song from a whole different show needs to show up and make sense.
Right. So they did that work, which is wonderful. And then I, help the cast, which these guys are both in the cast. And there's also Maggie Bulkley and Kat Agudo from Port Townsend.
Incredible performers, by the way.
Wonderful performers. And so we'll, mix the soup with all of them.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, speaking of performers, we might as well get on the line here. Denise, who's joining us via the phone with Key City Theater. She's the co-director of this as well. Denise, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you, Todd.
All right, so let's talk, I guess, kind of same question to you as a co-director in this. Tell us a bit about how you stir the soup.
Well, that's a pretty good description. So I had the pleasure of working on Shakespeare at Sunset. I actually wrote the script for it last year, and so there's a certain pleasure in writing for performers that you know, and since I know all of the performers and our pianist quite well, coming back to collaborate with that same group again now with someone else's writing, it's for me, it's just a pleasure to build something creative on collaborators that you have a history with, and lean into their particular talents and their energies and make that all meld into a really delicious soup. So I think that was a good way of asking the question.
Well, it is dinner theater, so
that's right. Exactly. We got to keep the food themes going.
Right, and that's, I want to ask that question too, because that does present kind of I don't want to call it a challenge, but a uniqueness when you're trying to put this together, right? So Denise, how do you approach making it Broadway-esque, but still having plates clanking and things like that in the audience?
Right. Well, to a certain degree, you're counting on your performers to be at a high level of focus, but also just creating the space for the audience to enjoy both. So you can't ignore the fact that they're dining and drinking and they're in part to have that experience. And so finding fun ways to incorporate what they're doing, what they're eating into what we're presenting is part of the challenge and part of the joy. And again, when you're talking about performers that can captivate an audience, it's not too hard to pull their focus at the right moment. They're going to want to hear what's happening.
Are you bringing your performers off the stage a little bit and out into the audience at all, or is this going to be strictly up there?
For sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's an immersive experience, so you got to get in the mix with the audience, definitely.
Would not be dinner theater if you weren't out there leaning over somebody trying to cut their meat or whatever.
Exactly.
No,
right.
this way.
Yeah, you're doing that all wrong.
Against the grain.
So I'll go back to the writers here. Tell us a bit about the story, how you put a plot together so this works, because as Linda pointed out, one of the unique things about this, you're trying to tell a bit of a story, but you're telling it not with necessarily the music that was intended for that story.
For sure.
I do think one of the things that also is a little different than maybe you might think of when you think of a musical theater show is that we're doing 3 smaller acts versus maybe a 1-act format or a 2-act format that you're used to. So we're kind of making these 3 little acts that also, yes, we have an overarching theme and an overarching goal of so we start here and we're ending here, but then it's also how do we create this journey within each act. And so then we have found all these songs that we want to do or that were offered to us from the other performers. And then it's, okay, so we have all of these songs. Now, how do we fit them into an order that actually makes sense and that can work? And that was something that Kyle was really great at doing.
So, Kyle, you made the playlist.
I would say the playlist. I would say the playlist is a big collaboration, because if that was the choice, the idea, the playlist changed quite often. There were 5 or 6 versions of this show, but one of the things that I think once I decided on the first 30 minutes, which is really where we define what belief is, that kind of happened naturally. And so what I thought about was okay, so great, we now know what we believe in. What does that belief cost us and what does it gain us, right? And so that's kind of where the other 2 acts came in, and that's kind of how I wove everything together. And sometimes it's a whole song, right? Sometimes it's an idea of a song, sometimes because the lyrics sometimes may not match up to what's happening in that moment for this, but it's kind of the same thing as Linda mentioned, like a jukebox musical, right?
Those are popular right now, though. The review style musical is popular generally. I mean, people are paying big bucks on Broadway to go see something like this.
For sure.
Not quite like this, but similar to what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. And our experience comes particularly from the cabaret scene, so it's very reminiscent of that. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I'll ask Linda a little bit about this. What's been the most difficult musical part of putting all of this together? You've got tremendous performers, so I don't know if you really have a lot of challenge there, but maybe.
No, I mean, I think I really like the song list, and I just will say to your listeners, yes, there is a song from Les Mis. I know that's what they're wondering. So, I think it's just if again, since it's not a traditional musical, but just to enjoy, this is a solo for that person, here comes a trio, this is a duet, here's everybody singing. You want to have that kind of energy throughout the evening, a variety but building.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. It's not like everything's a solo either.
No.
I mean, it's not like, okay, here's Kyle.
Yeah.
And then here's you might be doing a duet with somebody.
For sure.
It might be a trio.
And Linda has been really great at arrangements for those songs.
Right. There's one, in fact, I was thrilled that Kyle decided to include, which is as I'm sure you know the word, Todd, mashup.
Oh, yeah.
Not
without a mashup.
Not exactly this year's jargon, but anyway, of Somebody Somewhere, which is from Most Happy Fella, which people don't know that show too much. And then with also We Kiss in the Shadows from King and I. So it's really nice to hear those blended.
So those are mashed up in this.
They are mashed up.
Oh, that's
it's a little with the immersion blender.
More food.
Denise, what about how you get your actors, in the right places to kind of pull this off? Get them ready for the immersion blender.
Exactly.
Yeah, really.
It's juggling.
I didn't didn't know we were actually breaking out that tool this year, but
sounds like you are.
I have a new one.
Well, it all starts with the music, of course. So Linda really sets the stage for me with initial rehearsals in finding the story within the music. And then I'm the person who's like bringing the two parts of the story together. So why is this particular person singing this song? And how do we tell that story physically in the space? And so what I'm looking forward to with this group is building that out of the relationships that they have with one another. So they can sort of tee each other off into the next thing because we're going to show what that relationship is between them that, supports and amplifies each part of their individual contribution to the storytelling.
All right. I got to ask each one of you before we go. Denise, since you're still on the line, got a favorite song in this? What's your favorite song?
Oh, well, I love a mashup, so...
Okay, so you like that? All right.
That's the potato song.
Yeah, the potato song. That's what we call it. Linda, what about you? I mean, aside from what you just talked about.
Well, one of them is, seems unlikely, but Adelaide's Lament from Guys and Dolls.
Okay.
We'll see how that fits in.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I like that. That's a little tease there.
Little
it's like
tease.
we're going to have to see how this fits in.
You'll have to come see.
All right, Kyle, what about you? What you got a favorite?
I'm going to make it worse. My favorite is that one from Les Mis.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and we're not going to say which one it is.
That's
no,
right, of course
not at all.
And I will say my favorite is we are doing Being Alive from Company. However, we are doing, there's a Sondheim review called Putting It Together, and there's a version of Being Alive that is a quartet. So it kind of, each person in the cast gets a little moment of the song, and then we get all the way through the song. And I think it makes it really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing kind of a review of a review.
There we are.
Of a review of a review.
Right.
That's right.
Inception.
I love this whole thing. All right, tickets are still available, but you probably better get them quickly. The show runs a couple of weekends on July 22nd through the 24th, and then the next weekend, the 29th through the 31st. The sunset part is the Sunset Lounge at Field Hall. So this isn't in the theater. It's out where the convention space is, which is still a dynamite location to do things. Beautiful
Fabulous.
view and great place to have dinner and drinks and watch a wonderful show.
Yeah.
And it will be a wonderful show. So head over to Field Arts website, get your tickets now, and get it set up for, if you like Broadway, you're going to love this one.
Thank you, Todd.
Yes,
what a
thank you so much.
pleasure.
All of you for being on.
Always.
Denise, I appreciate you joining us on the phone from down at Keith City Theater. Appreciate that. Linda Dowdell, as always, great to see you.
Thank you.
And also to my good friends Kyle Lemaire and Morgan Bartholic. It's great to see you guys, too.
Always you as well.
All right, good luck. Break a leg, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a break. And another event that is coming up this month at Field Hall is a really interesting album debut, which we will be chatting about with one of the members of Librarians. And Joel Ricci will be with me right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Todd Ortloff now with a word for Olympic Peninsula title. They don't just have customers, they have raving fans. Yeah, for over 40 years, they've been earning the repeat business of their customers by treating them with respect, delivering what they promise, prioritizing the security of customers' funds and information, and always providing service with a smile. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title and see for yourself why they've earned over 500 five-star reviews, and they've been voted best title company in Clallam County over and over again.
Our Olympic Peninsula veterans served us. Now it's our turn to serve them. Sarge's Veteran Support provides housing and hope for veterans throughout Clallam County. If you or a veteran you know needs assistance, we're here to help. Visit sargesveteransupport.org or call 360-374-5252 to learn more. Because no veteran should be without a place to call home. Visit sargesveteransupport.org.
Hi, I'm John Holm, president of Tri-State Roofing, serving the Puget Sound since 2007. Tri-State Roofing is committed to making every step of the process stress-free. You'll have a dedicated production manager helping you with every aspect, start to finish. Right now, we're offering 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 6 months. Call Tri-State today, and we'll be out tomorrow.
Tri-State Roofing, we got
got you covered.
We are paying 14% of our income in taxes, while the super rich are paying 4%. That's backwards.
That's why we came together to win a millionaire's tax this year.
That means more money for schooling kids. It means parents pay less for diapers.
Small business gets a tax break.
It means the super rich have to pay their share.
Blue collar, we have each other's backs. BlueCollarUnity.org.
Paid for by Firelands Workers Building Community Power.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
First Fed is proud to shine a spotlight on the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Olympic Peninsula, serving youth ages 5 to 18 at 3 sites in Port Angeles and Sequim year-round. Through caring adult mentors and a safe, supportive environment, the clubs help more than 450 kids a day build bright futures. From academic support and homework help to workforce readiness programs, young people gain the skills and confidence they need to succeed. Free nutritious meals and snacks are served daily. Teens attend at no cost, and membership for children ages 5 to 12, just $30 per year, with scholarships always available. Contact the Boys and Girls Club at 360-683-8095 or visit online. For more than 100 years, First Fed has proudly cared for our community and for the organizations like the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Olympic Peninsula that help make it stronger every day. All right, welcome back to the program. I'm going to talk in the next couple of segments about a really interesting opportunity, not only to take in some great music, but to be part of an album release. But it's an album release that's very unique in itself, and it is happening on the 17th. Over at Field Hall, and it's with the Librarians. Their Still Here album release party, but it's a rendering, too, of things. And I have one of the members there from the group, Joel Ricci, joining us. Hi, Joel. Good to have you in. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, let's talk a bit about Librarians. People have maybe heard of the group, but maybe they're well, actually, that's part of this thing, too. The Still Here thing is that, yeah, we are still here, right?
We've been around for about 20 years.
Yeah.
But our debut on the peninsula was last year at Field Hall when we did our David Lynch tribute. So we performed in the Sunset Lounge last summer, and a lot of people were there 200 people, in fact, were there to enjoy us, and that was a triumph for me. For sure.
Absolutely.
Bring my favorite scene in Bellingham down to Port Angeles.
Right, yeah. But the rest of your group is up in Bellingham,
That's
right? So, and Joel lives down here in Port Angeles as well. How did this group get together?
Well, Kevin and Carly, the bass player and the guitar player / lead vocalist, run they're called Bison Bookbinding and Letterpress. It's a letterpress shop over in Bellingham where they do cards, stationery, graphic design, and also book repair. Anyway, I loved when I was in Bellingham in 2006 or so, I just loved seeing their vintage machinery, the letterpress machines, and I just wanted to be near, so I went in and offered to sweep one day, and eventually they let me sweep. Next thing I know, they're teaching me how to make paper, handmade paper, and I'm making production paper for the studio. They were playing music together in the after hours. I joined in, and the rest is history.
So you became the ultimate tag-along in a way.
Yes.
Right.
No, I love them.
And that's a little bit of how the name came, right? Librarians?
I think so. No one there is technically a librarian, but we do have a lot of love for physical media, books, paper products, printing, the history. We're also very literary, I like to think. So it fits.
And those who have followed or listened to you, it's a very eclectic type of music you play, but it grabs you in a lot of ways. It's rock and roll, it's folk, it's jazz.
That's right. I mean, I started as I studied jazz music and composition in college, and so the songwriter thing is for me kind of a newer thing. I mean, I've been working at it for a while, but to me, this singer-songwriter hybrid with jazz is sort of a proof of concept. I can as an artist express myself along this wide spectrum.
Anytime you play with a group of people for 20 years, there's a lot of good with that because you kind of just know each other, right? And musically speaking, suffice to say, I don't want to call it it's easy, but it certainly makes it easier.
The trust that we've developed over the years with each other is what I think is palpable to the audience. You'll feel that the love that we share together, you know, kind of almost a family feeling. And to me, that's really precious and rare in pop music. You know, it's like it's always instant gratification and everything's happening suddenly. Well, librarians, we're slow. We move slow. We released our first major album. I mean, we made our own record label to put this out. We released that after 20 years. You know, we have put out, you know, limited things over the years. But
this is the first time you've done a real album, so
real
to speak, quote
album.
unquote.
We invested a lot of money, a lot of time. Rain Shadow recording over in Port Townsend. Shout out to Connor Sisk and Everett Moran. So yeah, we're very ready to share this.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to catch up on some news at the bottom of the hour. When we come back, we'll actually be when we play out here a bit of a still here, so you can still hear on the air just a bit, and we'll talk about this album release party that is planned too with Joel and his band Librarians, as they'll be at Field Hall on the 17th. I think still tickets available, so hop over to Field Hall's website and get those while you can, and we'll chat a bit more with Joel right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Hi, it's Dan Shappy with Farmers Insurance. Ever call somewhere and get stuck in a phone maze so long you start questioning your life choices?
Press 1 to speak to a robot. Press 2 to be routed to the number 4 button. Press 3 to be disconnected inexplicably.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're right here in Port Angeles at 405 South Peabody Street. You need help? Just stop in. We'll look up, smile, and actually talk with you. Farmers Insurance, here when you need us.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
In 1925, a news headline read, "Nothing in the Northwest to equal the natural golf experience." By 1926, veteran golf course designer Francis James turned Dalton Farm in Port Angeles into Peninsula Golf Club. Peninsula Golf Club took advantage of the natural fairways there, perfect putting greens, and natural draining system in a picture-perfect location. And today, 100 years later, local golfers and even PGA legend Byron Nelson believe that Peninsula Golf Club lived up to and went beyond those early declarations. Peninsula Golf Club is a true golf gem found right here in a most beautiful setting. And you're invited to their 100th anniversary celebration Friday, July 24th, so stay tuned for details. But why wait? Come visit Peninsula for a round of golf this week. The fairways are wide open.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Jenny Rassicot, a former girlfriend, alleges that Maine Democratic Senate candidate Graham Plattner, while they were dating 5 years ago, forced her into having sex without her consent after she repeatedly called for him to stop. That reported by Politico today. Plattner calls the allegation categorically false and also says, in his words, that he's taking the time to reflect on the best path forward. After heat, more heat, says ABC News forecaster Samara Theodore.
Things are really hot in the southeast. Some areas not quite as bad as we saw over the holiday weekend, but still pretty bad. 100 degrees is what it feel like in Tuscaloosa. But I'll leave you with some good news for those in the northeast. Things are really cooling down. UNDC on Wednesday will be around 83 degrees.
Flood watches from Virginia and North Carolina to Pittsburgh, Hartford, and New York City. President Trump heads to a NATO summit in Turkey today, where Ukraine's president is expected to ask alliance members for more interceptor missiles. This is ABC News.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. 72 this afternoon under mainly sunny skies, northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 52 tonight. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow, high of 68. A blend of clouds and sun and dry Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the mid-60s. Looking at the long range, 64 Friday, 62 Saturday, and 66 on Sunday. Another look at the short range. Highs reach 72 today, low of 52 tonight. We should top out at 68 tomorrow. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 66.
Reaching out for contact. Brace yourself for impact. Coincidence
There's a little bit of Still Here from Librarians, and that fittingly is the title track of their album. Their first ever all original, real full-on album, which is going to actually be released at a party on the 17th here in Port Angeles at Field Hall. By the way, the little trumpet there at the beginning, that's my guest, Joel Ricci, playing that as well. And we'll play a little bit more of that song when we get done here at this end of this segment. But let's talk about what you're going to do on the 17th. People come, this is kind of a different sort of album release, right?
Well, the thing is we've been working so hard on it. And really quick, I just want to interject about the little trumpet. That little trumpet, well, I do play a pocket trumpet. And a lot of people say, what is that trumpet? And we like to joke, do you mind if Joel plays a little trumpet? Because it is smaller than a normal trumpet.
That's good.
It's still a normal trumpet, but it's a pocket trumpet. So that's what you'll see on
you'll be
the Friday.
Bringing the pocket trumpet on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, on the 17th. So you're going to have a show. What are you guys planning to do to kind of do this as a release and a party and all of that wrapped into one?
Yeah, well, so we just got off of a couple of days. We performed in Bellingham on Friday and then in Seattle on Saturday. Both excellent, wonderful outdoor, summertime performances. And what we learned is that for us to actually render the album in order is a little intense. It's a deep emotional experience. So we're probably going to do two halves. You're going to do side A, and then we're going to do some other songs, maybe show off some of our new stuff that no one has ever heard yet. My new stuff. We might even play a cover tune or two just to break it up. And then we'll do the side B. And then in that case, after that, we'll do a couple other brand new songs that no one's heard yet. So we have almost a whole album's worth of material that has not been recorded.
So another album's coming.
Yeah, oh heck yeah.
This has been so much fun.
Yeah.
It took you 20 years to get there, but it's been...
I like to joke we're a 20-year overnight sensation.
I think that's a good one, though.
Yeah.
Favorite part about putting this together?
Oh, well, clearly just as an artist, you want to put a frame around something and hang it and share it with everyone. My goal with this is that the music attracts a thoughtful and conscientious person who thinks the way that we do and maybe has the kind of discussions that we have over the kitchen table or by the fire. And yet I just decided to put those conversations to music.
Describe, if you will, some of the songs that are on this album, kind of where they take you.
Yeah, so for example, Still Here was written as a somewhat of a eulogy for Kevin and Carly's 23-year-old Chihuahua, who is named Lila, and she's still with us. Bless her heart. Yes, she's amazing. And so we were wondering 2 years ago if she was going to be okay. And I just, my love for her and for the family. Kevin and Carly are big animal people. They love animals, and they're the best. I like to joke, if I get reincarnated, I'd like to be reincarnated as a
and be
pet.
their dog.
Yeah, one of their pets. But Lila is still here, and it's kind of amazing.
Wow.
The song covers territory for anyone who's experienced loss or wants to sort of eulogize somebody they love. And then Conspiracy, the track 2 on there, is about the feeling of how we sort of sabotage ourselves in our life. We think maybe the world is out to get us, when actually the things that happen to us are happening in our mind first. And that was sort of the theme is it's a conspiracy against me, a conspiracy with myself against me. So there's a little courtroom drama that kind of the metaphor for that. Yeah, in this song.
Interesting.
Yes.
Right. Do you have a favorite style of what you guys play? As I mentioned before, you have a real mix of things, but is there a certain, spot where Joel really likes it when we're playing like this?
I don't. I love all of the spectrums. We can be your like by the fire on the porch country band. We can do a little bit of rock. We can take it, with Nakos Marker, our dobro player. He is so diverse, and he came up in the bluegrass scene. We can definitely touch a bluegrass and make you authentically feel the bluegrass, our grass being blue. But he's also a jazz musician. He is very has a lot of facility on a custom stringed instrument that is neither a dobro or a steel guitar.
It's his own thing.
His own thing.
Yeah.
And so that is enough example right there to tell you that the limitations are endless. I like it when we're quiet. I like it when everyone's quiet. I like to evoke emotions, and I also like to just like have some fun too, hoe down.
You got it. Well, you get a little of all of that if you come to their show on the 17th here in Port Angeles at Field Hall. You also are going to go back to the scene of the crime, I guess, the next night, right? You're in Port Townsend, back to the recording studio.
That's right. Yeah. On July 18th, we're at Rain Shadow from 7 to 9.
All right. Why not? You got to, let's play it again where we recorded it.
And then they'll record that as well. So it'll be a very special night.
Very nice.
We're going to be coming off the high that we had from Field Hall.
Exactly. And you'll have albums available at this show?
That's right.
Right.
They will be with custom letterpress covers, naturally, since the print shop.
Of course. Of course. I love it. Okay, so if you want to check out really terrific music and very unique at that, Librarians will be doing this album release for Still Here, July 17th, a 7:30 p.m. show at Field Hall. Tickets are still available. Hop over there, get them while you can, and you can get in line to get one of these custom, like one night only sort of release party.
In fact, you can also order it online. We do have librarians.land. But you want to meet us in person.
That's right. You want to get there and see Joel and the crew in person. All right, we're going to play out with a little bit more of Still Here, and we'll be back to talk about the Bob Cup, which is coming up next.
Sir, if you loved it permanently, but you didn't, we're still here. Still here. We're still here. Still here. A century.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Hi, it's Dan Shappy with Farmers Insurance. Community matters, and that's why we're proud to support Todd Ortloff and local voices that keep us connected. If you want insurance advice from real neighbors, stop by our office on Peabody Street. Real people helping real people right here at home.
Dan Shappy and Farmers Insurance is proud to sponsor the Todd Ortloff Show every Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Be part of one of the biggest and best events in the area, the annual Unity of Effort. The premier first responder recognition event features delicious food, amazing live performances, and a celebration of our first responders. Contact Security Services Northwest if you're interested in having a booth at this huge community event. Go to unityofeffort.org and we'll see you at the Unity of Effort Saturday, August 8th in Sequim.
Planning to do a remodel or demolition of a structure? Call Orca before you begin. Asbestos can be found in any building, no matter its age. You can even find asbestos-containing materials in new products to protect the health of anyone who will be in that building or on the lot in the future. Most demolition and renovation projects require an asbestos survey and notification of your action. Visit orca.org for details. That's orcaa.org.
Straight View Credit Union has been serving the Port Angeles area for nearly 90 years. The recent partnership merger with Great Northwest Federal Credit Union will bring exciting new products while maintaining the same team, location, and quality of service you've come to expect. We are anchored in the people helping people principle that sets credit unions apart. Federally insured by NCUA. Straight View, a division of Great Northwest Federal Credit Union, where community comes together.
Hi, it's Callie here from the Heartline on the Truck Route. My family is proud to have been serving our community for 3 generations. If you're tackling a landscape project, rely on the Heartline for all the supplies you need to make your project shine. Rock, mulch, soil to sand, we've got you covered, and your yard too. The Heartline is your connection for high-quality Deca batteries as well. Cars, bikes, commercial, marine, and power sports. Stop by or give us a call at 452-3157. Rely on the Heartline, top of the truck route, Port Angeles.
There's no better way to explore the peninsula than riding an Aventon e-bike from Squim Bike Studio. Cruise the Olympic Discovery Trail, conquer hills with confidence, and go farther with every ride. Power your ride, expand your adventure. Whether you're new to e-bikes or ready to upgrade, Squim Bike Studio has the perfect Aventon waiting for you. Come take a test ride and discover why life is simply better on an Aventon. Squim Bike Studio, your local e-bike headquarters.
All right, welcome once again to the program. We're going to wrap things up talking about the Bob Cup and actually a little bit about what this supports. It's the 11th annual Bob Cup Golf Tournament, and that's going to be on Saturday, August 1st, down at Cedars at Dungeness. We have Wendy Bonham here joining us. She's with the Clallam County Orcas, is a volunteer coach, and also has helped organize the Bob Cup again this year. So, Wendy, it's good to see you again. Thanks for coming in. Let's talk about what this is. This is kind of the big fundraiser each year for the Orcas, right?
It's the only one.
Yeah.
We do, yeah.
So tell us a bit about your group of, these are Special Olympians.
Right.
And kind of what they are all about here locally in Clallam County.
Oh, well, it's a great program. We have over 120 athletes now.
Wow.
And I don't think there were that many last year.
No.
So we've had a lot of new people move in. And really, it's an opportunity for athletes who have intellectual disabilities to be active and participate in sport and have fun and make friends and just be involved in the community.
You travel to the Special Olympics as well. Tell us a bit about that, because we hear about the Special Olympics, but you know you're doing sports all the time.
Right. Yes.
It's not just that event, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all year round. We have 7 sports that we do right now throughout the year, and we live in Clallam County, so we don't do much here. We have all our trainings here, but to compete, we usually have to travel as close as Silverdale for our bowling tournament, and actually some of our basketball tournaments are there too, or to Olympia. If they go to state, it's Wenatchee for basketball, or this year for state for spring games, we went to University of Puget Sound.
All right. The reason I bring this up leads into exactly why you have the Bob Cup, because I think you have a little bit of a disadvantage in the fact you got to travel a lot more than many of these other teams do to get to playing other Special Olympics squads.
That's right.
So, so you have this golf tournament on August 1st. So tell us a bit about what that is going to be.
Well, excuse me. Well, it is a golf tournament, and then we have a barbecue and an auction, both silent and live auction with cool stuff. But this is the only fundraiser that we do every year, and so we hope to raise the money. We use it for everything, and we have to pay for everything on our own. Special Olympics Washington pays for when they have state program. They pay for the state things. They'll pay for us even to travel and stay. But for regional type competitions, we have to pay our own travel and our own lodging if we need it, and we do, because we don't want to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
I get
travel.
it. Yeah.
So, and for lunches or whatever meals we need, and for uniforms and equipment.
And as you mentioned, that is 90% of what you're doing during the year, it sounds like, are going to these other events, not the state Special Olympics that we all kind of hear about every summer.
There's 2, we only have 2 state games, one in the winter and one in the spring.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's still, here's the reason you're here, is there's still room if you want to get a golf team together, right? So tell us a bit, what that gets you.
So what it gets you?
How you get in, what that involves, yeah.
Well, we'd love to have more golfers. We typically do teams of 4, but you don't have to have 4 people. We can add some. You can go to the Cedars at Dungeness website and look at their tournaments, and you can register there. This is only the 2nd year we've done it, and people haven't really caught on to that yet. We do send out sponsorship forms, and a lot of people sign up for their golf teams through that avenue. But people can call and get more information, or they can just go to the site.
Right, and you can sign up there if you want it as well.
Just look for the Bob Cup.
So it's $125 per person entry fee. That gets you into the tournament. And then, as you mentioned, there's a barbecue afterwards, and even more fun that goes on through the rest of the afternoon.
That's right. And that pays for everything, golf fees,
the whole
cart,
thing. Got it. All right.
Green fees,
Let's go back and talk about how this got started, because Bob Duncan, the reason it's called the Bob Cup is that Bob Duncan, who passed away a number of years ago, retired airline pilot with Alaska Airlines. I had a privilege to talk to him a couple of times before he passed, and was very committed to what the Special Olympics were all about.
Yes, and he was a unified partner, which is something that a lot of people don't realize that we do. He was a unified golf partner with his brother-in-law, who had Down syndrome. He would, so in golf, a golf partner, athletes learn how skills, and then after that, when they go onto the course, they have a partner who's more like a mentor that golfs alternate shot with them, and for competition, and they get medals. And some of our other teams have unified partners too. Right. So we do love to have people from the community join with our athletes and participate.
Right.
It's really fun.
I just know Bob realized there had to be a fundraiser. There had to be a way to bring in enough money to support this group. Yeah. And back then, it was not nearly 120 athletes either.
No. And actually, Mary Jane, his wife, started it after he passed.
Yes, right.
In honor of him. But he was committed to people who have developmental disabilities, absolutely.
I remember that Mary Jane came to me, I think probably in the year that Bob passed, and said, we're going to do this thing, and and it's fitting, it's a golf tournament, because he was a unified golf partner, right?
Yep, and he was very into golf too.
What other sports do you do locally with the Orcas?
We do bowling in the fall, and then in the winter we do basketball. In the spring we have swimming and track and field, and in the summer we have bocce, golf, and softball.
Now, some of your athletes do all of them, right? Some of them.
Well, at least they do something every season. They don't necessarily do all the sports, but a lot of them do.
I just know you've had in the past. You've got some stellar athletes. I mean, they just go for it. I'm going to do them all if I can. Yeah. So, which is just remarkable. Yeah. And the best part about it, you mentioned, is there's more than just the physical part of it, getting exercise, getting out, but the social part of it is a huge, probably bigger than the sport part of it.
Yes, I think so. Although keeping in shape and participating in sport, but it is a really good opportunity for them to create community, and they do, and they have, and it's really amazing to see.
Now, you are a volunteer coach. You've helped out. How long have you been involved with the Orcas?
I'm actually the program coordinator.
Okay, all right.
I do coach bowling. I used to coach other things too, but we started almost 20 years ago. This will be our 20th year for bowling. When we moved here, there wasn't a Special Olympics program here. So my son really wanted to participate in Special Olympics because he had in other states. So we started it. And we started with 7 bowlers, and now we have over 120 participants.
How do you pull that off with that many athletes in a small area like that? That's a lot of
volunteers.
Yeah.
Everybody is a volunteer, and they're amazing. We have really great volunteers who love the athletes, and the athletes love them, and they're very committed.
Because you have athletes that are of all different levels of impaction, so to speak. I mean, you probably have, I know you have some that are pretty, can go on their own, but you have a lot that need a lot of help too, right?
Exactly, yeah. We have a bowler who is in a wheelchair, and we have ramps for some bowlers that can't carry balls or can't throw them, and so the ball sits on the ramp and he touches it, and he is so excited. His smile is amazing to see.
I love it.
And then we have some that are very talented athletes, and some that are very talented that never participated in any athletics before they came to Special Olympics.
Right, because they didn't have a chance.
They didn't have a chance.
Or didn't feel they had a chance. It's amazing. So this is a great way, if you're a golfer, to support this and raise some money for, I think, a wonderful cause. And again, if you're not a golfer, let's emphasize this, you could show up for the barbecue.
Yep.
And what does it cost?
2 o'clock, $25 for the barbecue.
Okay.
Yep.
And you can also participate in the auction when you're at that as well.
Yep.
So that's 2 o'clock on the 1st of August if you're not golfing. But if you are a golfer, get a couple of friends together and get in touch with the Cedars at Dungeness and get signed up for the Bob Cup Golf Tournament in memory of Bob Duncan, who I mentioned was just a terrific guy. Really a kind-hearted soul. Gave a lot to it, and I think fitting that his wife kind of carried the torch on from this thing.
Because she's that way too.
Yeah, I know. A terrific family.
Yes.
All right, Wendy, good luck.
Thank you very much.
It's going to be a fun time on the 1st. And best thing if you're thinking about golfing is call Cedars at Dungeness, and they can get you all of the details as far as schedules. And if you need more people, they'll find some more people for you as well.
Or go online.
Yes.
To their site.
And
look at tournaments.
Okay, Wendy Bonham. She is the program coordinator and also a volunteer coach for the Clallam County Orcas. And we're going to take a break. We'll wrap things up on our show right after this.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Since 2011, Grocery Outlet has held their annual Independence from Hunger food drive every July. Head to Grocery Outlet in Port Angeles from now through the end of the month to partake in their 16th annual Independence from Hunger food drive. All proceeds are distributed directly to the Port Angeles Food Bank as well as the PA School District Food and Security Program. There are several different ways to participate. Donate $5 or more in a single transaction and receive a coupon for $5 off a future purchase of $25 or more. Purchase a pre-made bag of groceries to be put in the collection bin at the store, or donate online by visiting groceryoutlet.com/donate and choosing the Port Angeles store. Support our locally owned and operated grocery outlet right here in Port Angeles as they support our community. Follow them on Facebook at Port Angeles Grocery Outlet to learn more. Located on East Highway 101.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
Olympic Hot Tub's All-American Soak, Swim, and Sauna event is here. Now's the time to save thousands on a saltwater hot tub, swim spa, or sauna, with up to 3 years to pay for it, interest-free. OlympichotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Jumpstart your exterior home project. Give Tri-State a call. Are you thinking about a new roof, siding, or windows for your home? Tri-State installs GAF roofing products, James Hardy siding, and Pella window replacements. And right now, Tri-State's offering huge savings. Call today for your free estimate. 360-208-2222.
Tri-State Roofing, we got you covered.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
Looking for the perfect summer day trip? Sail away to Victoria, BC with Black Ball Ferry Line and experience the beauty of the Butchart Gardens, featuring 55 acres of blooming garden displays. Day trip packages from only $126 per person include ferry, the Butchart Gardens admission, and round-trip shuttle transportation. Plus, add on a traditional afternoon tea experience in the original Butchart family residence. Embark on your next adventure with Black Ball Ferry Line. Visit cohoferry.com today.
Fire up the grill and grab the mustard. We're looking at the clever history behind a legendary regional favorite. Welcome to the National Day Spotlight for July 6th.
During the economic hardships of the late 1920s, broke Chicago street vendors created a culinary masterpiece out of pure financial survival. To sell hot dogs as a full, heavy meal, cart owners couldn't afford to buy extra meat, so they decided to drag the sausage through the garden instead. Piling on cheap, abundant local ingredients like tomatoes, pickles, peppers, and onions was a clever marketing trick engineered to visually double the size of the food. Vendors pitched it as a complete three-course meal on a single poppy seed bun, giving starving workers a way to stay full all day on a single nickel. As we kick off National Hot Dog Month, we celebrate a true lunchtime icon. It turns out that America's most famously loaded hot dog started out as a genius survival hack.
You gotta love that they were getting hot dogs for a nickel. I mean...
It is amazing when you think about it.
Well, it is also over 100 years ago, so a nickel was worth more then than it is today.
That's true, and here we have the Chicago-style hot dog.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
We're also celebrating National Fried Chicken Day. I'm Alice Anderson.
And I'm Marlo Anderson with National Day Calendar, reminding you to celebrate every day.
If you're looking for world-class website hosting at a fair price, Pair Networks is your best choice. Founded in the early days of the web and still going strong today, Pair Networks now hosts over 150,000 websites for its demanding customers worldwide. Setting the standards for excellence, Pair Networks has a technical and support staff that's second to none. A highly stable company with top-of-the-line technology, Pair Networks offers total reliability and flexibility for your website, and even a money-back guarantee. Whether you're a professional web designer or a beginner just getting your site online, Pair Networks has a web hosting plan that's right for you. Make the move today. Log on and learn more at pair.com. That's PAIR.com. Pair Networks. World-class web hosting at a fair price. Visit us at pair.com. Pair Networks.
Your voice, your news. News Radio KONP, Port Angeles Squim. AM 1450, FM 101.7 and 101.3. A Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Siebertson. Another allegation against the Maine Democratic Senate candidate. ABC News has not independently verified the claim, which has been published online. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The sexual assault allegation is made by a woman who dated Graham Plattner on and off for more than 2 years. She tells Politico in late 2021, Plattner entered her home while drunk and forced himself on her. While the Democrat challenging incumbent Senator Susan Collins says in a video message that the allegation is false.
Regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward.
Under state law in Maine, Plattner has a week to decide whether to withdraw from the race in time for the party to put someone else's name on the November ballot. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump heads to a NATO summit in Turkey later today, where Ukraine President Zelensky is expected to ask alliance members for more interceptor missiles. Canada says it has selected Germany's ThyssenKrupp marine systems to build 12 submarines to boost defense spending to meet NATO targets. An oil glut could lower gasoline prices. The U.S. has been removing mines from the southern route of the Strait of Hormuz, with more tankers passing through, and that is expected to lower oil prices, gasoline prices, and diminish any leverage Iran has at talks with the U.S. That from ABC News contributor and former State Department official Steve Gagnon.
Frankly, President Trump can let this